And good morning, everybody. We are now live on YouTube, and we sitting talking so much here in the background. I'm sorry for that 2-second delay. I realized I need to be online. Yep. The changelog is in the description below the video. Some new stuff I'm going to show you guys just now. But before we get there, I'm just going to quickly continue setting up the aircraft for the usual flight, and then we will attend to the new features. I think that also gives a couple of extra guys to come in. I mean, we're not that many on the stream now, so let's quickly just check that we get set up. So this is one of those challenging airports, and I just want to mention this to the YouTube guys that are going to look at this. The last time we did a flight in here, January 2020, I think, this was flagged as dangerous, and they removed the monetization and they blocked all kinds of things and made it adults only and all kinds of things. Guys, it's a flight simulator. If you wish, in your terms, it's a game. Nobody can get hurt. There's nothing dangerous about it. It's hell of a fun for people who know what it is, but keep your sticky fingers off this video, please. Good morning, Andrew. Right, okay, I think that should take care of that for us. Oh, you know what? We are still setting up, so let's do this.
I'm on push to talk.
You're welcome. Woo! There's a X52 next to me. Woo! That's David, eh? Yep.
Yep.
Excellent. Let's quickly do this. Good morning, Chronic.
Ground flight Echoes is connected and starting refueling.
Okay, I believe we're only going up to flight level 300 now, so 30,000 feet. Yeah, and 262. For
Yeah, I actually reduced that to 2.6, but I don't suppose it matters too much.
it doesn't really matter. You do you, my friend. You, as long as you're happy, David, I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready for pre-flight procedure. Trim up.
Right, I'm using runway 02, if that matters.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect. see, we have a 10 knot wind here. Nice. Okay. Right, well, I'm not going to wait much longer for the other guys. So let's talk about the new features. It was funny. Let me give you a bit of a backstory. Zibo came in yesterday morning and he gave us the first update fix, and he basically let me just get that in the folder. I'll show you. Hold on. He basically said that he added enunciation for failures. Okay, so initially I didn't understand how to actually get this to display, you know, to actually go test it. And also we had a quick chat, and he said that I can use the data ref editor obviously to go and edit the stuff. So here's the first one. So basically you'll see that he's busy implementing all kinds of failures. So the big answer to the big question you guys have been asking, what kind of new feature, it's about failures. Alright, so in order to have failures, there needs to be a subsystem in the code, and the code needs to...
Fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Thank you, Mr. Fuelman. So you obviously need to have the subsystems. The subsystems need to work correctly. So he's going into a great deal of depth of systems now, and basically what's happened is he's now replicating real errors, and what will happen is you will have it in either white, yellow or red, depending on the severity and depending on the type of failure. So this is one place where you can see it, and there is the same failure but on the lower DU. So the first one, this is upper DU obviously, and this is the lower DU. So this is how it would present itself. You'll see white, yellow or red somewhere, you know. Then what he did was he came on back a little while after my last stream. He came back on Discord and he gave us a challenge. He said, listen, I added something, you need to go find it. So it was like a game. It was a fun game, you know. I went through this whole tablet. I couldn't find anything, but I never even bothered to really pay attention to the failures. You know, I don't know, that just slipped my mind. I was obviously thinking of 10 million other things. So what he did was, in our test version, he put all the failures to random. Okay. And then what happened was, I'm sitting here happily, it's funny, I'm sitting here happily preparing my aircraft, and the next moment my TR just died, and I had no power, so all my displays went dead on the dashboard. It's just everything went dead. And so I found it. I got the medal. I was quite lucky anyway. I think I just started before the other guys. But anyway, here is the story. So every failure now can be set to either random, on or off. Okay, and that's not necessarily the wording that he used. We're gonna look at it now. You'll see the exact wording, and I'll rerun this. Chronic, they should be an option to not highlight it too, because people will ask for it. You know what? We had a bit of a discussion. I would have liked to just push the fix out and let you guys find it yourself, you know, and then come back and say, hey, what happened? And then we decided maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea, because if everybody's Zibo breaks now, can you imagine the amount of support that needs to be done and the amount of times you would have to repeat yourself? So anyway, no, that didn't go well. So anyway, once you've changed your settings, you'll get this message: do you want to save the settings? And all you do is yes. And believe it or not, I caught myself. This is the same pop-up that you get when you want to restore a flight. And I clicked on no, so I took off, and in flight I lost all my freaking well, I had a problem with the pressurization outflow valve, and I had to close it manually, and I had to fly the whole flight and monitor the oxygen and check all those kind of things, the pressure in the cabin. Oh, it was hilarious actually in the moment. So You guys must just remember to save your settings when you're done. Let me quickly just grab this thing. I'll show you this one. So this is what happened to me then. You see, I started getting the outflow valve, all kinds of issues. And I had to start, managing that. So it was fun. So let's quickly look at it inside of the aircraft. I beg your pardon. Alright, so we then also talked about having this button. Those two buttons didn't exist in the previous test model. So you can enable random failures or you can disable random failures. If we enable it, you'll see everything is now on random. Right, so these things, I'm not sure what the trigger would be and what algorithm is used to determine when what should fail. I mean, that's beyond me. I can't answer that. But you'll see it's now all over, and you can literally go and set it. So we'll run through the settings just now as well. I just want to show you. Oh yes, and then this morning with the new fix version 15C that I'm flying now, this has also been added. So he added engine failures as well. This what didn't exist yesterday. So first time I'm also seeing this one. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly disable it. And before we move on, I need to mention this as well. Fix failures. A lot of these failures cannot be fixed in the air. It is simulating real world operations. If you really need a mechanic on the ground to come and open a flap somewhere, a cowling or something to fix something, it's the same. So you can press this button until you blue in the face. It's not going to fix the error in the air if it is not realistic. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so we've disabled everything. Let's go to electric. Now you'll see you've got an OK. If you click on it, it's got fail. So you can fail it immediately, or you can have it then randomly happen. Alright, and then as you get out, you have to save your setting. Alright, otherwise it's not going to remember it. So if you don't want failures, everything must just be set to OK, and again you must then just save your settings. Okay, and the same it goes for everything there, fail, random, or OK, and it's instant. If you put it on fail, it's going to fail right there. If it's random, then obviously there's an algorithm running somewhere in the background that decides, okay, it's now your turn, die. So this is the new thing that I wanted to show you guys today. I just need to make sure everything's really safe. I don't want to repeat of yesterday. So we are obviously getting closer to real world operations, having fun like the real world guys and doing training. The end game here is easy. I mean, Zibo wants this to be a training aid, and it's gonna have to work exactly like the real thing. So it's a nice work in progress, and as we know, Zibo already, he builds in little pieces. So the first Lego blocks have been put in place, and now the next couple come, to give a comparison. Chronic, you're right. This opens up a whole new phase of the development, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Christer, that's a question you need to ask Mr. Zibo. I don't know. The design parameters for this obviously is run by the real pilots, so I'm not sure to what extent decisions are made. It's Zibo's final decision, but this is what we have right now. I just really need to make sure that all this is working. My OCD will kill me if I have to worry about that all day. Alright, so that's it. David, how far are you from pushing back?
Yeah, I'm just about there. So
Alright, okay, I'm starting my APU.
APU. Yep, yeah, I'll do that as well.
There's a lot more reading going to be needed to know what all these systems are, that's for sure.
Oh yes, schematic drawings and all kind of things come to mind now.
Yeah. Is there a copy of the quick reference handbook anywhere? Because with failures, that's the first thing you reach for, isn't it?
Yeah, I do not know that we can actually distribute it. So if you can Google that and get it, it will be cool. The question is just how up to date it would be and things like that. I don't know. It is a bit of a challenge because we can't just distribute Boeing stuff, you know.
Of course.
That's a big manual as well.
I reckon at some point in time somebody must just basically reproduce it in such a way that it's not plagiarism or something, you know. And copyright infringements and all these funny things, you know. We don't want Boeing's lawyers breathing down on us. Right, we are facing out, so we don't need better pushback. Once the APU is on, we can let the ground card go. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Before
Paul,
start
did you
procedure
get your
complete.
mail?
I did,
Ready for
George, thank you,
before
yes.
start checklist.
Yes, Bill, that is also something that will happen. Trust me, it will happen. Right, I'm just waiting a minute so the APU can settle and then I'm going to start up, David.
Cool. Yep, I'll wait till you go and then I'll do a pushback.
Cool. Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. N2. Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine. Thanks, Kristen. Have a good day.
Engine. N2.
25 into. Good morning, Zibo. Hope you had a good night's rest. Welcome. Zibo says I must switch the failures on, or he's making a suggestion at least, because it's not as aggressive like in the test version. But I'll do a specific stream with failures and stuff, and we'll get Sasso in here and we'll play around. Okay. I just want to do this flight. It's the last leg of my tour for this tour, and then we'll set up something specifically just for failures. If you don't mind, Zibo. It's difficult enough to fly into Queenstown right now than to have to deal with freaking failure here or there. I mean, imagine making that manual turn around that island with only one engine. You know. Thanks for subscribing. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not trying to be funny. It's just, you know, it's going to be difficult this morning. Maybe later tonight or something. I'll speak to Sasso. You know, then we do a you know, nice stream with that. That'll be crazy, man. Imagine that. Ziba, I'm not sure if I told you this, but the last time we did this fly into Queenstown, YouTube actually flagged the video. They demonetized it. They made it adults only, and they sent me this notice that it's dangerous and they don't condone, you know, people doing dangerous things. So I had to explain to them it's a simulator. Nobody can get hurt. And, you know, then I won the appeal there. But it was funny. So imagine now we do this. We'll have to put a nice disclaimer on there for the bots and for the guys at YouTube, you know, when we start doing these failures, that nobody can get killed, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think so too. I think it would be nice to have Sasso here, and then we do a proper failure stream, see what happens. You know, then we can also decide which failures to put on, so that we can kind of manage it better and not just die. Although I think in a stream like that, it would be great fun to actually just take a dive sometime, you know, at some point, because I mean, if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. You know, it's part of the fun. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, David, I'm going. Oh, jocks. My goodness. Oh, and before we forget. Right.
Taxi lights on.
Okay, hold a second. It would help if I actually complete the procedure, right? See, talking too much again. I blame Uncle John.
Uncle John's got broad shoulders, he can take it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. My light is correct. Everything is fine. There we go.
Yeah, a stream like that with failures on with Sasso around would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Jordan was on approach and he had an engine out? And
Yes.
Sasso just happened to be there. That was
Yes.
fabulous.
Yeah, it was.
Stuff. So calm. And it turned out brilliantly.
Ready for
Yeah.
further taxi procedure.
Well, look how he's guided me with engine failures and all kinds of tricks to land there in Egypt, in Cairo as well. You know, that one was awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to have a live body next to you on that situation.
Yeah.
Approaching 29.
This is gonna be a fun takeoff. My little puppy just jumped on my lap here.
This flight's really quite short, I think, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's just to hop over the mountains and to take the challenge of the landing there.
So which approach are you using for this?
Runway 05, I'll tell you now. We're on the...
You're going to fly around the hill?
Yes. Yeah. So it's the ELRUV 2 Alpha and RNAV Foxtrot with the Ibabu transition.
Yes.
Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure.
No, it's not a new pup. I just call her a puppy, but it's Snowy. It's this little female doggy we have, and
Before
my
takeoff
wife
procedure.
had to go fetch mom and my daughter
Ready for before
at a
takeoff
friend's
procedure.
house, and so now what's happened is now I'm good enough again. You know the story? Mommy's gone. Now it's daddy's turn.
Until that door opens up.
Exactly. Then daddy's... Who's daddy? Not the mama. Not the mama. You remember the dinosaurs?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not the mama. Not the mama.
Stabilized.
Approaching 02. On runway 02.
Right, so flaps, RTO, no issues, no problem. Toga.
Takeoff thrust set.
Gear up. Come on, eh? That wasn't too bad.
Acceleration altitude.
Nico, does Linda handle the flap retraction, or do you have to do it?
I do that.
Okay.
She does the gears and the RTO. Good morning to all the new viewers. I see the numbers are increasing. Guys, let me just get on the way here, and then I'll quickly recap the changes, because otherwise you'll have to go and rewatch the video or check it out later. So just give me a minute or two, and then we'll look at that for you. Yes, Steve, this is the latest version of Linda.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches off. Flaps upset.
Right, let's quickly look at this. So the first obvious question is, what's the new features? And it's all under failures. Zibo has enabled random failures in these little red blocks systems, not operational yet, but electric, hydraulic, pressurization and engine. So you can literally enable or disable with a one click, or you can physically go and set some of the failures. Alright, so I'm not going to click on them, but the options will be fault, meaning an instant failure. It will be random, meaning, you know, at a random time based on some algorithm in the background it will fail, or your last option is okay. As long as the options are set to okay, you won't get a failure. Okay. For instance, this is what hit me yesterday. I had an outflow valve problem and it tripped a whole bunch of things in here. So we can simulate literally the whole aircraft randomly, or the systems one by one, you know. So again, it's just okay, fault or random, and the moment you change something and you move to a different page, it's going to come up with a huge block here. I'll show you the screenshots just now, where you can then save your settings. So if you want to do a training session, you can switch them on and then obviously fix them, save it so it doesn't happen again in the future, you know, so you don't have a repeat And that's about it. Engine is brand new. This is something Zibo inserted overnight, where you can actually have, I beg your pardon, certain failures here. So, okay, I see this one is not just the okay, there's a no as well there, but it's a basic logic choice that you just need to make, on, off, yes, no, random. And that's it. So for training purposes, I think this is gold. This is going to really help the real pilots fly the aircraft and do some proper training. Hope you guys are going to enjoy that. It was fun. We had so much fun last night with this. For sure, Chronic, that's a given. One of the things that I speculated about last night was hot start. Me and Mac were talking about hot start issues, burn out the engine, things like that. If you mishandle the aircraft, it's going to bite you. So yeah, opens up a lot of possibilities now. does he? Almost there. It's not a long flight. You know what? I better start running through the rest of the preparation. Yeah.
To level off.
1,000 to go.
Four knot wind, so it's really not to worry about. So according to the meter, sorry Paul, go.
Is there any cloud in the valley today? It's going to be interesting in that sense.
Yes, looks like it. We've got overcast at 8,000 and few at 5,500 scattered. So yeah. Not too bad, not too bad. When I took off there last night and I was flying back to Auckland on that leg, you must check the freaking. It was totally illegal. Let me just tell you, it was absolutely totally illegal what I did. Let's see if I've got some of those pictures here. Give me a second. It was crazy. Wow, come now. I'm looking for those pictures. I know I took some. The question is, did it actually save them? I think it's this. Yeah. Just want to delete the silly ones. What happens is when I pop out xEnviro's weather briefing, it literally takes the screenshot of that page instead of the simulator. So I just want to get rid of those ones. Okay, so feast your eyes on this. This is me taxiing to runway 23 for takeoff. Tell me when you can see it, Paul.
Come on.
Yes, Christian.
Look at that.
The OFP is the SimBrief OFP. I don't understand what you see as a difference between them. It's exactly the same thing, Christian. Yeah, so this is me taxiing and this is me on the runway, and as I was doing the takeoff run, it's like I broke through the heavy mist, and that was about what it looked like until I actually took off.
And this is departing where, sorry?
Runway 23, Queenstown.
Oh.
Going out over that lake to climb out. So there's the valley of the lake. You see there, you'll see when it comes out. No, it was crazy, and at least, you know, this is what it looked like as I was climbing out from the valley as well. You'll see now. That's looking back at Queenstown. I mean, it was totally overcast there. Yeah,
Yes.
that was crazy.
Yeah, it comes to something when you're using the terrain radar to fly.
I was just thinking, yeah, without technology, you won't do that. You won't do that flight.
For very good reasons, yeah.
Yeah. That's how the guys fly into mountains, eh?
Ready for descent procedures.
Ooh, we're already there for the descent side of things. Where is my page? Right, so our decision altitude there, just want to see, I think that's actually an MDA. Yeah, it's an MDA, so I actually need to add 40 in there. So I'm going to make that 60 for 160. So it's not a DA, it's an MDA, so we add the extra little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to descend to 4.2 so that we don't bust the altitudes. George, shh, shh, I'm gonna destroy the evidence, don't worry. Anyway, alright, so there we go. I don't use Active Sky at this point in time, Aviation Chris. I switched over to xEnviro. I'm busy testing that, so I don't have any of the information from Active Sky available to me at this point in time. Right, we need to be at 3434. That's fine. 216. Good. No worries, Chris. No worries. That's it. I think we're about set. Oh, you know what I did not do is the fuel calculations and VREVs. So about 600 kilos. 65.6 estimate. Something like that. Yeah. Cool. How far is top of descent? I didn't check. 27 nautical miles. Yeah, we're getting there and we're in the mountains. Christian, I never had xEnviro ever. For some reason, when I started buying all the add-ons and things, I think initially xEnviro was not available, so I kind of invested in a different direction financially. You know, you just get used to it. You know, it's just one of those things. And then Magnus, the other day, him and I were talking and just loosely talking about it, and he asked if I would like to try it, and I said yes. And there you go. I'm trying it. I'm testing it. Seeing where it goes to. Yeah, I haven't had any crashes with xEnviro. It took me a while to just get my sliders in order, you know, and once my sliders were set up appropriately, and then we had a stream in the UK the other evening, which was the frame rates were terrible, and eventually I traced it back to the Orbeck scenery. There's a bit of Orbeck scenery that I needed to delete, and once that was gone, I was also happy again, you know, nothing changed. But anyway, this is my xEnviro settings, and you can take a screenshot of that, try it again maybe, I don't know, but for me it works fine. As a weather engine, I don't think there's anything that can beat Active Sky in terms of what it does and the configurability of it. I mean, in xEnviro, there's no way to dampen the severe turbulence. And I tell you what, I've had some pretty bad turbulence in it, which is not necessarily accurate real world wise, but it gives you one heck of a joyride. Uncle John, are you still here?
Yes, sir.
Can I send you a PM quickly?
Okay.
Yeah, in Discord. Just look for it in Discord.
Will do.
Right, that highlighted folder, GB South True Earth Airports, that's the one I removed.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, Chronic. Let's see what happens, man. Steve, look at my FPS. Okay. It took me a few days to get the sliders where my computer likes them. Okay. I consulted with the Scotsman. I spoke with Magnus. I spoke with Uncle John. We had lots of fun trying to set it up. Now that my settings are in a position where my computer can handle it. Look at my frames. It hardly ever goes down. And like I said, the other stream that you guys can check on my channel, it was horrific flying into Luton the other night. So the funny thing is there's a clash between the TDG scenery for Luton and the scenery from Orbex. And the Orbex little tile that creates the problem has got one GA airfield and 2 helipads on them, and that is something I'm quite willing to sacrifice. I just disabled it. I don't care for it. I don't need it, and the problem was solved. I was back to good frame rate. So yeah, you just have to work through all these things, man. Sometimes it's not the thing that shows you the problem that's a problem, but it shows you symptoms of another problem, and then you just need to go find it. And I think in general in the flight sim community, I don't want to be nasty by saying this, but a lot of guys are just too lazy for their own good, or they don't have the knowledge. That's another thing. You can't blame somebody if they don't have the knowledge to go find things, to figure it out, to remove things. But in terms of some of these haters that I've seen people really hate on the product, it's like jar design. How many guys do you know that absolutely hates the product, and then when you start talking with them, within 10 seconds you figure out but they don't know what they're talking about because they never bothered to check further than just their own annoyance. You can't hate a product if you don't invest time and investigate. If you've done your due diligence and it is a bad product, it is. But there are a lot of hate for a lot of products in flight sim that's undue, unjust. Jay Moya, I'm not sure. You're asking about Zibo or you're asking about something else? If you're asking about Zibo, we don't usually talk about things up front, okay? And in all honesty, like the failure thing, um, Zibo kind of surprised us. We didn't know. He was a bit mischievous there, and it was great fun. We had so much fun. He came in here and he said, "Okay, I added something. You need to find it." And then we all went on this treasure hunt trying to figure out what it was. And I bet he was sitting there laughing. Ziba, I don't know if you're still watching, but I bet you were laughing yourself silly in the background for us idiots running around trying to find this thing. It must have been really fun, for you too. So it happens. We don't always know. Zibo doesn't always tell us, and if he does, usually we don't share. Unfortunately, anything can happen, and then it doesn't come to fruition, and then people start saying, "Oh, but we promise things, and then it doesn't happen," and so on. So it's just easier not to talk about things unless it's there already.
We've begun to understand that Zibo has got his own roadmap. We don't try to influence him. He gets on with it, and we accept anything and everything that he brings to us.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, Chris, I never do do-arounds unless I have to test it because somebody complained and Zibo asks me specifically to do a turnaround. I don't. I switch off, explain, and in most cases I actually reboot my PC because the last thing I want is problems in the air or some script not loading or something not working. So I'm very conservative when it comes to that because how must I know if it's a script that broke or if it's really a problem? I don't know unless I give it a clean slate every time.
Loving your scenery this morning, Nico.
Yeah, I'm glad I figured out that there was a problem with some of the sceneries. There were 2 files I had to delete that I don't know where they come from anyway, so I just whacked them. So here's the lake. This is where we're going to fly into shortly, and then at the end of the lake somewhere there you'll find the actual airport. Is it the lake? I think it is. Let's just get our bearings right, because that is the airport somewhere there. Yeah, I think it must be that one. Ha! I'm talking nonsense. I'm looking out that way. There's the freaking airport. There's the airport. That's the lake where we're gonna come into. That's where we need to land. You see that hill, guys? Now, when we fly, I'll show you the chart just now. We're gonna come in very high here, and then we're gonna have to circle to land manually, drop off, bleed off the altitude, and then come and land exactly as I showed you guys there. And that's how you fly a Class C aircraft. If you've got an A and a B class, you can actually use the RNAV approach straight, and it will then bring you in. If you want to cheat, in brackets, you are allowed to use the other ones, but I don't want to do it, and then there's some clever Trevor that comes back and says, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." Oh. Anyway, I don't mind if you guys do it, but I unfortunately have a couple of haters that like talking nonsense about my skills and abilities, so tough on them. Hello Sergey, good morning. can. If I can just survive that manual turn and actually land this plane, I'll be very happy. I know it's the correct procedure. All I'm saying is not everybody has the ability, and even me. The last time I did it, I almost crashed and burned. I just didn't tell anybody because one of the predicaments that you have is at the slow speed that you have to do it, the Boeing tends to lose its grip in the air a little bit, and if you don't manage it properly, you will do a side slip and stall and just take a tailspin down. Guys, and the other thing is when you do this approach, check your speeds. Don't let the speed run away, because you will never have enough time to brake. You have to keep the speed in check.
Good luck, David.
Thank you.
Flaps 1 set.
Yeah, I've just popped in a hold at, where is this? Equinox. Just do a wee circle there and just give go time to land, because I'm coming in the 2-3.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have a wee backtrack like at the outside.
Secret is to be configured early rather than late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Flaps
Good
5
day
set.
to you all. You having
Flight
fun
level
then?
100.
So far so good, Mac.
Light switches on.
Thanks, George. Thanks, Chronic. Chew fast. That's all I want to say. Chew fast. If you're having snacks now, make sure it's not a problem in a minute or two.
1000 to level off.
Snowy, my baby. I'm gonna have to put you down now. You can go and lie on the floor. I'm not gonna attempt this with one hand, my dear babe. Mac,
Yeah,
I got myself the inbuilt scenery as well, yeah.
yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
One thing missing was that barrier at the end of the runway. And the trees, a bit annoying.
Okay. Mr. Walker, Mr. Chronic will take over from you. Don't worry, you can finish your snack in time. In your own time.
I should imagine Paul's got a big grin on his face this morning. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Mac. This is excellent, yes.
1000 to level off.
My apologies for being behind the game. Which approach are you doing, Nico?
I'll have to check now. It's the
Which
runway
runway
5.
is it?
Runway 5.
Right,
ELRUV to
okay.
Alpha RNF Foxtrot.
Yeah. Okay.
The interesting one.
Oh, they're all interesting, John.
I particularly like this one.
George. Chronic, yeah, you have to land a bit hard here. There's no way of landing softer because then you're not going to stop. And thinking about that, I better go for max auto brakes anyway. I'm a bit heavy. Now you have to plant it. As long as you don't break or bend anything and the aircraft's reusable, it was a fantastic landing. I'm just saying that right now already because you come in high and fast, man. Snowy, I cannot pick you up right now. Please just let me land, my baby. Come on. This doggy just wanted to get up.
Nico, I think you're stuck at 6,000.
I'm supposed to be stuck at 6,000 until MDA, I think. You see, now I've broken my concentration. Hold on. Come on, man. Where's that thing? Ah, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Paul. At the previous waypoint, I was supposed to come down already. So here we go. Nee. There's the hill.
To level off.
1,000 to go.
Here's the hill. Okay, mustn't go fly into it now. Came a bit closer.
Minimum.
1,000 to go.
Radio altimeter.
Another 800 or so foot to drop. Actually want to drop a little bit more.
1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Flaps 30 set. Ready for landing checklist.
Hi Dean, good morning. Alright, now not to overfly. That's into line.
Taxi lights on.
Come down a bit low, but I think we'll make it. Ooh, and the wind is rocking me a bit. Where's the runway?
Down your plane, lad, down your plane.
Oh, Uncle John, I know. There it is.
Approaching 05.
Alright, so we need to plant it a bit.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, can we make it?
3,000 feet remaining.
There we go. I think that was supposed to be a go around, but it was close enough.
Just keep out of the pub.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to the pub, so thank you.
Yeah. Great landing.
I don't know how hard that was, but it was hard. When you see those little blocks, those white blocks pass underneath you, you know you're in trouble. You either put it down or you go around.
100 remaining.
351 on the EICAS, it says. Not too hard landing. Whew, I'm sweating. My palms are sweating.
On runway 23.
This is one of those landings and approaches that separates the people. You want to know if you can fly this plane? Come try this one. Thanks, Chris. Okay, I'll wait for David to land. I want to see a replay because I think my attitude was not entirely correct for the landing, but I obviously pushed it a little bit. So let's see. David, you're welcome. You can come in.
Cool, thank you. Just coming around the corner now.
Okay.
5.6, Nico.
Oh, thank you, Uncle John. I knew you would give me the best score you could possibly do.
I always struggle managing my rate of descent, I can't really tell whether I'm going down quick enough or
Yeah.
too slow, or
Yeah.
how far it's going to be.
Exactly.
Whether I've swung it too wide or turning too tight. It's
Yeah.
really quite the skill.
Yeah, and I'm not supposed to be on this taxiway. I can virtually guarantee that.
I was about to say, where the hell are you going?
It's a cycle path, man.
We'll plow the sides. They can plant some maize or something there. Oh, I didn't realize it was so small. I never use the taxiways. I always backtrack. But with Steve coming in, I thought, oh, why not? I swear, if this thing stops here in the middle of the veld, I'm just going to drive right over the grass here.
Bloody novices.
Look at this. Where the hell is this thing going to?
The barbecue area.
I'm sure. Guys, I'll check you at the barbecue area. Yeah, I'm sure, Chris. I think backtrack was the answer here. What the hell?
400 feet remaining. Flaps.
Oh man. I lost myself in the turn there. Broom, broom, come on.
You're going to get stuck now, aren't you?
I hope not. George just went to put the trucks away. I would hate to ask him to come and bail me out now. You know what? This looks like a GA runway, for instance. I'm just going to go like this. Sorry guys, I do apologize. I don't always drive like a palooka like this. It's only on certain Saturdays. After landing procedure.
After landing procedure.
No, don't worry. We won't bring them back. I'm here already. I must just quickly get out of this small stuck position, then I'm okay. I'm sorry, sir. Well, think of it this way, George. You won't have to mow it for another week. It's going to take a while to recover. Shutdown procedure.
You go to gate 6, Nico. Sam works as well.
Okay, thank you. I don't know where I'm at. It looks like there's a big B in front of me. Don't know what that means, but I'm here. Oh, and there's David. Just missed the touchdown. Woo! Welcome, David.
Just keep out of the pub, David.
Yeah, managed it this time. Used all the runway though.
That's perfectly good. Perfectly acceptable.
Oh, somebody else is down.
Just want to file my flight so my tour can be complete, and then I want to do that replay.
Ready for shutdown procedure.
So you get a badge today, do you?
Yes, sir. I was a bit too close to that hill, and if Paul didn't tell me, I was thinking that the next waypoint is where I need to start descent. So I started descent a little bit late. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I think I've got stuck at 6,000 before now. and I can't think of any good reason why it should.
Yeah.
Glad you were awake, Paul.
Yeah, because I mean, you set the MCP down, you do everything normal, and then it just cuts out right there. Don't know. You can't really complain. I mean, that is a nice big hill. You know, if you can just keep it in your view, yeah, you can really fly around it nicely. Yeah, looks nice. And at one point, yeah, I just went a little bit too low. I shouldn't have descended that fast. You see, that's, you know, it's difficult to gauge, exactly like you say, Paul. And then I went too high again, you know, because now you're trying to recover. Also not knowing where to stop, just guessing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get the feeling, oh, I'm so low I can't see where the runway is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, you know. And then by the time I actually realized where the runway is and all, I was skew and too high. I had to still turn more left and then start pushing down. That's why I disconnected also the auto throttle and started manually using the throttle. Cowboy landing this one. Oh, when those last two bars went underneath me, I just sighed internally. Huh. Not too bad, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it felt worse than it looked. Sure. Let me go check this tour situation. Tours. Australia, New Zealand. And it is done. Profile. Awards. I got my badge. Yay! There it is. Australia, New Zealand tour is done. Well, thank you for everybody watching and the support and the encouragement, and Paul for your help there, and everybody else on Discord. Guys, thank you. This was a nice tour. Christian, thank you for setting up the basis of the tour. I'm not sure if you've actually flown it yourself now, but it was a very nice Australian New Zealand tour you and I put together there. Thank you for your help. And everybody that still needs to do it, I wish you good luck. Hope you enjoy it.
And thanks to George for the badge design.
Oh yes, sorry. Thank you, George, for the badge design. I do appreciate that. I almost forgot. Forgive me. Amazing. And also thank you for the EICAS World Tour badge design. Yeah, nice badge. Nice one. Anyway, right. That's it for me for now. You guys enjoy yourself. If Sasso can, because I don't know if he can, but as soon as possible, then we'll do a failure stream, and I'll ask Zibo to come and join us anyway as well. And then he can also give us some tips and tricks and things. So I'll let you know when that happens. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll still decide where I'm going to fly tonight. It might be a world tour or not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll check you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.